Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Erika Lautenbach from the Whatcom County Health Department for our Toast of the Town recognition series presented by First Federal. Erika is being featured for her great work in 2020, and this particular recognition video is sponsored by BP Cherry Point, so thank you to everyone at BP. Erika, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for the honor.
Absolutely, it's so well deserved. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have been the director of the Whatcom County Health Department since March 18th of last year. So I walked into a firestorm and it's been nonstop ever since. I was the assistant director at the health department for several years and then left because I took a fellowship to work for the US Senate on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. So I lived in Washington, D.C. and got the experience of sort of being sequestered away from friends and family for a year. And I came back thinking we were going to reconnect and I would see all of my loved ones and boy, boom, back into quarantine. So yeah, so it was good practice for that.
What inspires one to get into the field of community health?
My initial interest with public health and community health was when I was in high school. I was a peer educator for AIDS and HIV, and it was in the 90s when it was very scary and there was lots of misinformation. And it was really rewarding to be able to talk to my classmates. I was always kind of a public health nerd, and then after college, I had an internship with the World Bank in Washington, D.C. It wasn't for several years that I kind of reoriented back to public health, but it's always been in me. I care very deeply about equity and about making sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to be successful, to be healthy, to live the best life that they can. And I love that I'm able to do that for a career because it's just a joy and a passion of mine.
What does a day in the life of our director of our county's health department look like?
It's a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations and decision making, and then also really trying to do the work of being a health department director,
right.
Not just managing a pandemic.
Yeah.
And so signing timesheets and contracts and working through our finances and making sure that our staff feel supported, because this is really, really hard on all of us. And I need to be good so they can feel better.
As we look past this, what are you looking forward to working on kind of on the other side?
I'm really excited about the partnerships that we've developed that will allow us to have sort of a community-wide recovery program and approach, right? And a strategy. You know, working with like the chambers and other businesses that we've interacted with and our nonprofits and our foundations and philanthropy to really think about what is our overall strategy for recovering from this awful pandemic that we've all lived through. I'm hopeful that we'll continue to build on those relationships.
Is there anything else that you're particularly proud of over the last year?
It's awkward to be recognized as an individual, I have to say, because I wasn't the person on the phone with someone who was newly diagnosed with COVID and talking about their options. I wasn't out at the testing site testing people. I wasn't working on our vaccine planning. I oversaw all of that, but my coworkers are incredible and I am fiercely, fiercely protective and loyal of them because we've had a tough year, a lot of criticism, a lot of armchair quarterbacks, and I think I work with the most incredible, generous, smart, supportive team, and I care very deeply about them, and I feel like we are different and we're better, and that's a victory for this year. We have so many volunteers that said, I want to do this, I want to step up, I want to make calls, I want to go to the food banks, I want to help with testing or with vaccine, and we just have an incredible community, and I'm really proud to live here, and I'm proud to work here, and I'm proud to be part of it.
With listening to some of your responses, like your fierce advocacy of your team, your willingness to jump in the midst of chaos in March, I think both of those statements prove why you should be here.
Wow.
We as a community are truly thankful. And so thank you so much, Erika, and thank you to your team at the health department, because truly the front lines of the pandemic for our community in many ways. The Chamber is proud to recognize you and your incredible work for our community during this past year.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and thank you again to our recognition sponsor, BP Cherry Point. Stay tuned for more Toast of the Town videos brought to you by our presenting sponsor, First Federal.